Radical.
The tariffs, I believe, are pretty fucking stupid. I think they're pretty fucking stupid. And I know there's people that align themselves politically with these presidents. They align themselves with these presidents. They put on the shirts, they put on the hats, the Trump hats that I believe mostly are made in China. I do believe, right? Am I incorrect on that? A lot of the hats are made actually in China. They align themselves every 4 years with these presidents. They go through this whole situation where they get on the blue team or the red team, and they feel like these people are going to not fuck them over. And me personally, I don't really get involved in it. I just want my life not to be fucked over by the people that run the country. I mostly just stay out of it, okay? People like who they like. They have their reasons for liking who they like. They want certain policies enacted. And I don't think you're going to get a perfect situation either way, because we only have two choices here in America. Only two choices every 4 years. I guess it's better than nothing. Some places really don't have any choices. But I just don't get myself so involved and worked up over it. Unless it's one of these people that get elected that come up with such a stupid fucking idea where, number one, it makes really no sense. And number two, it actually causes a lot of pain for the citizens of the country. And that's what I think this tariff situation is. Now, I'm going to put this out here. I'm not an economist. Sorry. I'm not an economist, all right? I mentioned this when I talked about the video game effect on the video games and the tariffs. I'm not brilliant on the subject of the economy. Okay? There's people far more qualified to talk about the tariffs than myself. But I believe a lot of those people are also saying that it's pretty fucking stupid in all the reading I've done about it. Let me explain what I mean here when I say fucking stupid. The idea behind the tariffs, as far as I've seen, one of the ideas behind the tariffs that Trump enacted was so we can bring back manufacturing here. We can bring back American jobs. We can make iPhones in America. We can restore America to the greatness it was once upon a time at manufacturing. There was things that happened in the 1990s. There was NAFTA. And that hurt our manufacturing. I get it. I understand it. I definitely 100% understand that. But it's the way you get around to it. It's the way you get around to it. Not a bad idea in concept. But in reality, doing something like this to get to that point is pretty fucking stupid. Because, many people are saying, oh, it's short-term pain for long-term prosperity. You see? Trump's brilliant. It's short-term pain for long-term prosperity. You see, you got to have a better plan than this. And also, it seems like, Trump just has this vendetta with China. Because there's tariffs that are enacted, I think 10% on everybody. I think he even tariffed an island that just had fucking animals on it. Oh, he just went through the board with tariffs, right? Talking about a trade imbalance, which is also fucking stupid. I mean, there's a lot of fucking stupid things about this. His idea is, if there's an imbalance, then you're getting screwed over. Hey, you know what? I have an imbalance with all the stores because they don't buy anything from me. I have an imbalance with my hairstylist because she always cuts my hair, and I don't. It's a one-way situation. To him, the idea is everything needs to be perfectly balanced. Speaking of balance, China actually holds a whole lot of our debt. So it's weird to actually do this against China because they hold a lot, we owe China. Am I wrong on that? We owe China a lot of money. So how are you going to big boy and bully somebody that, you owe a lot of money to? But we have that whole debt thing too, which I guess nobody cares about the debt that America has. Forget about that shit. That's not the crisis. Don't worry about the debt. In fact, big boy and tariff the people that we owe money to. That's a good plan. So many reasons. I can't go into all the reasons this is stupid because I don't have an hour. But essentially, he also went back on campaign promises because he said on day one, everything's going to be cheaper. Everything's so expensive, which I agreed. Toward the end of the Biden/Kamala administration, prices started to go up and up and up on a lot of things. Now, he promised they would go down, down, down. So I don't get how right now he's trying to explain it as, well, this is rich. This is fantastic. This is wonderful. When he's getting interviewed about this, he's saying maybe your kids, maybe your daughters, instead of 30 dolls, they need 2 dolls. Instead of 250 pencils, maybe they need 5. What? So, his talking point is like, well, maybe your kids don't need that much. This is funny coming from somebody like Trump. I'm sure he doesn't hold back on anything. The guy's got tons of money. Okay? He's prosperous, and if you're prosperous in life, you should be able to buy whatever the fuck you want to buy. So here Trump's telling people that, their kids don't need 30 dolls. He even mentioned like an 11-year-old, a 15-year-old girl doesn't need 30 dolls. I'm like, does he know kids? They're on their smartphones now. Seems like this is such a weird statement. And the pencils. Oh my goodness, the pencils. 250 pencils, 5 pencils. Tell the people that they should hold back. They should just don't buy as much. Now people might say, okay, maybe Americans do buy too much crap. Cheap Chinese crap. So the thought is you don't need all this stuff. You don't need the dolls from China. All right. Let's say the kids maybe don't need 30 dolls. What about strollers? Yeah, there's a graphic in the background here. It may have been there already, but I might just put it here right now. Any of you plan to have kids? Any of you have any little babies? I know, it's at the back of my mind at some point to spread my radical seed and maybe have like a little baby. You might, number one, be peeing. I hope you're not peeing right now. I'm not editing this. Damn it. This always happens when I start recording right when I wake up because I'm not fully ready and awake. I shouldn't even be attempting this. But it was the first thought when I woke up today. So I want to do a commentary on this. If you are, if you're thinking you'll have some babies, or maybe you got some on the way right now, it's either number one, you're going to be paying a whole lot more for a baby stroller. And Trump was also asked about this on the baby strollers. He's like, well, maybe you don't need the baby stroller. You just carry your baby around. Them unnecessary things you don't need. You don't need so many dolls. You don't need so many pencils for your kids. Your babies, they don't need to be strolled around. Just carry your babies around. You might be paying a lot more for baby strollers. Or, worst case scenario, you might not even see any baby strollers. Because there's a lot of these places that are just not going to import from China. And the problem here is we get overall 70% of our baby goods, the stuff, the clothes, the strollers, we get them from one place, and that is China. So you get a big boy, 145% tariff on China. I mean, Trump doesn't care because he doesn't have any kids anymore. The key thing here is Trump and his family that are incredibly rich. They don't care. This is not going to affect them. This is going to affect the people that want to buy a car seat or a stroller. You see this, 98%, I can't believe it, 98% of our car seats come from China. The things you put in your car to put your baby in. I guess you'll have to get a family member to hold your baby in the back seat because you can't get a car seat. Strollers. 97% of our strollers from China. There's a friend of mine at a flea market. She was recently selling some car seats there. And she only wanted $20 a seat. I said, are you fucking insane? You can raise the price on those car seats now. That's gold. They might as well be in gold because you won't be able to get them. There's a lot more I could talk to about in reference to the tariffs. But I am limited from time, as we all are. So I'll finish off by saying that, well, not only is it stupid, but you remember the last time Americans were in a situation to where they were hoarding shelves out of fear and anxiety that they couldn't get things? You remember the great time of COVID where you couldn't get any fucking bath tissue, you couldn't get any paper towels because people were hoarding that shit? The shelves were empty. It looked like something out of a freaking horror movie, or like an apocalypse. The shelves were empty. You remember that, right? Wasn't that long ago? Not even half a decade ago. People could not get things on the shelf. Well, imagine walking into a Target or a Walmart where they get a big portion of their stuff from China, where they don't have anything on the shelves. And it's not just because it's a temporary situation. It's because people hoarded that shit. They bought up things. And you have, right now, reseller mentality. We've talked about video games being resold, game systems being bought up and resold. Shit. You know what's more going to be more valuable than video games now? Car seats and car strollers. Just wait for it. When a lot of people figure out, when a lot of resellers figure out, hey, wait a second. These shelves are going to go bare of car seats and car strollers. And people are having babies. People are fucking all the time. And one side effect of the fucking is the babies. Wah, wah. People are going to go crazy. People that are about to have a kid, they're going to get car seats, strollers. And what else? Let's stroll down this list here. Beds, bassinets, play yards, changing tables, high chairs, baby care appliances, toys, all this stuff, cribs. We get almost half of our cribs from there. So, hey, new parents, you better start getting the idea of building your own crib. Yeah, get some wood, get some wire, take it around. You'll have to make one like something you would put chickens outside in. This is the situation we're heading to. If now a solution is not met. And apparently, even though Trump has said basically everyone's wanting to deal with us, all these countries, they're going to kiss our ass. They're going to kiss our ass. We got all these deals. We're making with these countries. And when they ask him which countries, he doesn't have an answer. Maybe some of the poorer countries that need us for trade really, really badly, possibly. But the thing about China is, China, not saying they don't need America as a trading partner, but it comes down to who needs who. That's who wins these kinds of stare-offs. When people are facing each other and they have something going on like this, stare downs. Who wins the stare down? Who blinks first? Is who's afraid more. And, Trump is not afraid personally because this doesn't affect him personally. But believe you me, a lot of people close to him, a lot of his advisors are advising him that this is really terrible, not only for the economy, but terrible for his administration and his popularity rating. Even the people that love, and there are people that love Trump. There are people that wear his shirts, people that buy all of his stuff, his hats, all this kind of stuff. They love him. Love him. What happens if you love Trump and right now your life is tougher, it's miserable, you can't get things on the shelf? I think a lot of people have Stockholm syndrome. Is that what it's called? To where you just defend your abuser. This is a very abusive policy to our own people. And you would think this would happen in a third world country, not a place like America. So, oh yeah, I got to finish up on this. The idea around manufacturing. Not completely a bad idea. But if you honestly think that we are instantly going to start making goods after for so long our country has not had a manufacturing core, then you're stupid. If you think this is going to bring a lot of jobs back to America instantly, you're stupid. Do you think iPhones are going to start being made in America? The way the globalization is and the product line chain and all that kind of stuff, it's not set up. And it won't be set up for a long time. That's like me getting a loan and saying, okay, I'm going to build myself a gigantic media store. Well, not anytime soon, even if I had the money. Because I would have to find a location, or I talked through the years about a YouTuber named John Hancock, a humble YouTuber. And John Hancock had an idea. He wanted to build a game museum. This is as stupid as a YouTuber saying they're going to build their own game museum without a place, without a spot, without a real plan other than to find a place and put the games there. Also, while they themselves are a game hoarder. So they would have to stop hoarding. A lot of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you are just scratching your head like, what the fuck? I just came here because I want to listen to the Tariffs. Who the fuck is John Hancock? But it's equally as stupid for this person, Trump, to believe that doing this is going to spark and cause. Now we're going to be a giant manufacturer. You know, when the situation is, it's the pricing. Okay, the reason everything works right now is because China, the stuff from there is really cheap, because the situations in their country is different. They got sweatshops. That's how it goes. And yeah, that's sad, but it's just how things are. They have sweatshops. They don't have regulations. They don't pay their people a whole lot. And because of the way everything is, we don't have to pay over $100 for a tire. You get it? We got cheap tires. We got cheap everything. So the reason this is ultimately fucking stupid is not just for one particular reason. Because we are so set on getting stuff from China. And I get if you want to slowly wean ourselves off of China and maybe form these partnerships with other places. But another reason the tariffs are stupid is it's kind of hard to make partners with other places if you're tariffing every fucking body. The only strategy I could see possibly working is over time, slowly, Donald Trump, start to actually make these unions with partnerships with other countries. And maybe wean yourself off of China. The slow wean. And start getting stuff from other places. Start going to other places to have the stuff produced other places. But this is not what he did. This is just so fucking... I can't fathom. This has got to be one of the most stupid things the president has ever done, economy-wise. Because you're looking at an end game here, and an end game, like I said, to wean ourselves off of China, but you're not even doing the thing that you need to do, which is partner with somebody else. To finish off, I actually did a Google of tariffs are stupid, just to see what I got back from the Google search engine. And here's what I got. Increased cost. We talked about this. Tariffs add to the cost of imported goods, which can then be passed on to the consumer. Oh, by the way, it's a tax on the consumer. I don't know how this was sold. I don't know if he said basically that China would pay for this. No, China's not paying. It's the consumer. Raising prices and reducing purchasing power. Economic slowdown. By making imported goods more expensive, tariffs can reduce consumer demand and potentially slow the economy. Retaliation. When one country imposes tariffs, others may retaliate with their own tariffs, creating a trade war that can harm both economies. Reduce competition. Tariffs can protect domestic industries from foreign competition, but this can lead to less innovation and higher prices for consumers. Potential for job losses. While some argue tariffs can protect jobs in certain industries, others argue that they can lead to job losses in other sectors as businesses struggle to compete with higher cost. Distorted trade flows. Tariffs can create artificial trade barriers, leading to inefficient trade patterns and potentially undermining global supply chains. You know, a gigantic percentage of rare earth metals come from, guess where? China. So this idea that we can't have a global economy, everyone just stick to their own economy, no one even trade with anyone else, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. There are certain things America has and they export that are big in America, but not other places. China has a lot of the rare earth metals, and that's very, very important. So you can't just big boy a place like China. You can't just big boy them unless you have a plan going forward. And I really don't believe Trump has any kind of ultimate plan. I think he just had the thought, screw China. I don't like China. I'm going to tariff them motherfuckers. And he didn't think about the hazards of that. He didn't think about what actually is going to happen after that. So that's the end of my commentary on this. I had to talk about it because it is the core thing going into the future, going into this summer, that's going to be on a lot of people's minds here in America. It's the core thing that's making a lot of people worry right now in America. So we will see what happens. If there's some kind of deal reached, I personally hope there's some kind of a deal. Already, you see Trump kind of like going back from the posture of, well, this is not to make a deal, to, yeah, we're open to making a deal. We'll listen to them. And going back from putting this tariffs on everything to, yeah, laptops, graphics cards, stuff in the auto industry. So he's already going back on which was a hard line. Some people might say, hey, he's a master negotiator, right? He's negotiating. I think what happened was he did not, shocker, think all of this through and the after effects. Before you do something, before you make any big move in life, just for any of you, I'm advising all of you, before you make a huge move in life, you need to get out a piece of paper and you need to write down all the possible after effects. I don't think he did that. I think he just got a thought in his big brain. Tariffs good, trade imbalance. And they just told his cabinet and everybody they was going to do this. And they probably advised him against it. But no, once people have their mind set on something, they're going to do it. It doesn't matter if it causes pain for the people around them, or in this instance, pain for millions of Americans. He's going to do it. Even though the tariffs, like I said, are fucking stupid.